Welcome to episode 8 of This Is Not Financial Advice. And I'm very excited this episode because I took a massive gamble and it wasn't just another lottery ticket. And I think it's paid off a little bit. I'm not sure if it's enough to be beating Benji at the moment. However, I'm very, very keen. So shall we start with the spreadsheet?
Let's jump straight in, bro.
Let's do it. Are you going to share screen for us?
Yes, I may share screen.
Hey.
Throw this up here. So
A big week.
it's been a great week. I think this is your spotlight this week, Mr. Long Snout. I'll give a quick update, and then basically because actually let me just give the reveal first. Pow 48.7.
Oh,
Which is a gain of 591 and 2%, which is, it looks sad because it comes after a large $18,000 gain, but it's still moving in the right direction. I won't head over to that graph because I think that's where yours is shown. Essentially, everything stayed pretty steady for me. Apple is up to 149. The Australian US dollar has stayed steady at $1.36, so no massive loss or gain there, which can happen in an instant in my in the bet that I'm making on that. A couple HCW Biologics is up 6 cents or whatever it was, and I'm down 358, and I'm holding on to that, and I really shouldn't because that money can go elsewhere. But I'm like, come on, I don't want such a massive loss on my head. Discovery was up during the week, and now it's down. And it's actually funny that Curio Card was also up past 20 during the week. It's had a couple of $18,500 sales yesterday, but back down. Sundays apparently is its lowest day, which is I don't mind it because, as we'll find out from Pete, crypto's had an absolute face melting week, and the price of the Curio Card has separated itself from the market, which is great because I don't want it to be as volatile as crypto. Otherwise, I'd just jump into more crypto. I've got a lot of Etsy to talk about because, as you know, I've made the promise under 60K, I'm going to be a single focused Etsy man. And that's what I've been doing this week. Got my first item up and happy to talk about that. But first, man, we need to jump into something serious over on Pete's side of the fence.
Hey, thank you very much. I'm going to jump into this little bad boy here and share screen. Good week all round, I think. I'm super excited because this week I'm not down by $15,000. So this is fantastic. Looking at this one, we've hit $45,984. And a lot of this is very much actually all of this is thanks to crypto because my other stocks have not done particularly well this week. But a lot of that is very much due to Australia having a worsening COVID crisis at the moment. And over the next 3 to 4 months, as I continue to hold those, I feel like we're going to start to see some really big improvements and gains. So as you can see here, we're now, 53.28% up on our starting $30,000.
That's massive, up 10K.
10K, $9,817.84 this week. And you may be wondering how we did that. And the big change for me this week, and it came from a group chat I'm in on Facebook. And there were people talking about the Axie Infinity game and the AXS coin. Tongue twisted that one, AXS. And what they were saying is it's going to be listed on Binance. This is when it's going to be first listed on Binance. And then not long after it was listed on Binance, it was listed on CoinMarket or something like that. It was listed on another very, very large site. So as it was listing on Binance, I was like, and this is why I thank you for this as well, Benji, because I was looking at it going, well, what do I need to do here to beat Benji? I've got to take some bigger moves. I've got to take some more risks with this one. So I sold nearly all. I kept my Dogecoin and a couple of others, but I sold nearly all. This is
why it is definitely not financial.
This is absolutely
mortgaged
not financial
by
advice.
6 properties.
Dogecoin to the moon. However, I sold nearly all of it, and I put about $18,000 into the AXS Infinity. And at one point, it was up to about $102, $103 per coin there, and it was.
Can you show? Do you want to pull up the chart?
I can pull up the chart here. We'll pull that little bad boy up. AXS price. Let's have a look. Oof. Let's.
How did CoinGecko get to the top there?
CoinGecko. That's impressive, guys.
Never heard that before.
Here we go. And let's look at. You can see what's happened here. And this was sort of sitting around here, and then we had this massive spike. And with this massive spike, I was fortunate enough, somewhere through here was where I bought in about $60-ish Australian, and it spiked right up to, and this is all American dollars, to 104 Australian dollars, and it's come down to about 90 Australian dollars as we speak. But things that made it spike up, some things were so many people playing this game. In fact, one of my friends who uses VAs in the Philippines, what he's done is he's hired a team of VAs over there, and you can earn about $50 a day worth of AXS by playing the game for about 4 to 5 hours. And so they're splitting the profits. So they get $25, he gets $25, and he's got a team of people playing this game online for him in the Philippines, and he's actually getting money from doing that. How ridiculous is that?
Why do they need him?
I think you need an investment. I think there's an initial investment into playing the game.
Because you have to buy it. Oh, my microphone.
I don't fully understand, but all I know is that the number of players continues to rise at the moment. And as long as the number of players continues to rise, I imagine we're going to see the coin continue to rise because it actually has utility. There's utility for that.
You have to buy your Axie, the little fish thing.
Yeah.
I think they're about $1,000 each. And I think you need to buy 3 to start, or 2. I think you need to buy 2 and then breed one because they're breedable. So
there's definitely that barrier to entry, but there's over 1 million players around the world now. And if it continues to increase, we're going to continue to see that skyrocket, I believe. So that was my bet for the week, and that has paid off big time at the moment. But I'd like to move away from gambling and look more into the Etsy, the business side of it. So if you could lead us off with how is it going?
Can I just ask a couple of questions on the Axie thing, just so people can potentially replicate or see where you like what your thought process is why did you transfer from the index over to Axies, and then why Axies over something else? And also I love that we got a close race going on, but I would have been laughing so hard if it just went the opposite way. If you get in Axies and you're just down 10K and you rock up with 19,000, you'd be like,
I don't know what happened. I lost money. No, for me, the reason why I chose Axie was a lot of people were talking about it. I didn't fully understand it. And when I went and researched it, I found out that it was about to be listed on Binance. So I think there's a social arb there of people that use Binance could then buy the coin. And I was like, cool, I expect that to increase it. And then the more I looked into it, the more that's about, the amount of players it's increasing. And since the start of the year, it's like 1.8 cents or 18 cents at the start of the year per coin to where it is now is incredibly ridiculous. And I look at that and it's on a trajectory up, and it had utility. To me, the utility with people playing the game, the more people that play that game, the more utility that it has and the more expensive that's going to get because people can actually use it. And so my thought process there was, I want to back the game. The more that game wins, the more the coin wins, the more I win. So those were the two thought processes there.
And then moving forward, are you back in the game?
At the moment, I am. And I don't know what the future holds, but I'd say in the short to medium term, I am. And the other thing that I did was when it was about $99, I didn't quite get the peak. Would have been nice. But about $98, $99, I sold 10,000 Australian dollars worth. And so I'm holding 10,000 Australian dollars in my account there. And what I'm looking at doing is, because I feel like there's going to be a bit of a correction. I feel like there has to be. And this is a feeling. There's no real thought process behind that other than crypto goes up and down quite, it's quite volatile. Is I imagine that we might have a sharp dip soon, and I would like to put the money in there into either Axie or into another crypto that I feel is going to shoot back up.
Awesome. Welcome to Axie and Etsy.
Axie versus Etsy. All right, talk us through Etsy. I'm keen to see your progress.
All right, so I'll give a brief, and honestly, this episode doesn't need to be that long because I'm thinking about a lot of stuff outside this, but as I've made the pledge 60K before I diversify, I've just gone spearheaded Etsy at the moment. So here we go. Also, I did promise to put up a video on this channel about how to put money into an NFT. I didn't. It will be up
every week.
Instead, I have an apology for you and another promise that'll be up this week. Okay, so this was what we went through last week, which is basically X-ray vision into my competitors. What are they currently doing on Etsy? This is, I believe, I haven't been through this yet. This is the portfolio of products that I'm going to be putting up on Etsy, because as we saw with these items, and I'm going to sort of talk, because not everyone who's watching this is going to start an Etsy store. Maybe they will. But I want this to be like a more holistic principle lesson that you can take away and apply to like any sort of shop or e-commerce or digital marketing, or even any social platform that you're trying to get to the top of. You can use the same sort of formula, but it doesn't have to be Etsy. So one we saw who was doing really, really well under our keywords, and we want to make sure there's demand there, which we did. Who's doing really well in demand? We worked out that like this person here is doing excellently. Anyone over 30K is doing really well. And what we realized is that anyone over 30K seemed to have a lot of items in their store. And then I'm like, okay, what's the items? And basically I went through all these top stores plus more and and I went to Kiki K with my girlfriend, Jenna. We went and did some research. And basically, because we want to sort of become like a more digital online Kiki K with no overheads, we basically wrote out all these things. I've got 23 of them, and then I've added a couple more since then. But we've got 23 of them, and I've numbered the ones that I'm doing in order, starting from what's going to be really, really easy, minimum viable product, like we talked about last week, and then moving into the more complex ones as we build that brand up. But if we've got 20, I don't know, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 28 products out there. There's a lot of leads. It's a lot of leads. And I've got some Etsy stats for you as well, because we threw our first token product up just to see how it all worked. Second one, an address book. Who uses an address book these days? Apparently some people. It's decently in demand on Etsy. Number 3, a reading journal. And what's going to happen is like the address book, the reading journal, the sticker packs, the different templates of paper and stuff, it's all going to become one to the all-in-one planner journal, which I see as that like Starship sort of product. I've been doing some research on some marketing there. We don't have to get into that yet. We can get into that next week, because I'm coming for that 60K, and as soon as we're there, we're gonna get super shiny once this trend
shiny. I like
leaves the station. So I'm in my Etsy shop manager because I'm now officially an Etsy seller. If I go to my listings over here, I should have 2 listings. One of them is total junk, which is this one right here, which I threw up 7 days ago. So what's the date here? So I threw up on the 8th of August, and I threw that up just so I could get into the back end of Etsy, because they don't let you in until you have a product. And remember, Etsy love lots of products because they literally gave you like 15 options when you sign up. They also do this thing where it's like you can copy your listing and then just like make a very similar one. They've got things like organizing your listings. So it's like everything is set up for you to just have like a whole 3 or 4 pages to scroll through of listings here. They have a search your listing, and it's like, well, if you got 3 listings, you don't need to search them. So we got our first real one up here today.
Very
now
nice.
This is real minimum viable product, because I do remember the second promise I made was that I'd have this first listing up, and I didn't want to break 2 promises. So I can actually view this on Etsy, and it's essentially a minimalist digital notebook. The photos are really off. I've only got 2 photos, and they're pretty terrible, because I've thrown this up this morning because my graphic designer, also my sister, who's designing the actual product, which is this thing here. You can see it's quite a complex Photoshop document, because we've got lots of different colors and different pages. She's done a very, very good job, but it's just taken a lot longer than anticipated. And you can see we have a lot of different, and even I'm just getting confused in here, a lot of different paper types. So basically people can come in, this is what the research showed. They can use whatever paper type they want inside their digital journal. And then they've got 12 tabs down the side, so they're going to have 12 different subjects. It's what's currently doing well. It's nothing revolutionary here. We're just copying that. We've got the Best You Creations is a very standard name that I threw together. I haven't actually seen that in a while. We might be changing that. But you can see I'm running way ahead of where we're ready to run and just being like, this is what's working. Do that as quickly as possible. Get up, get up, get up. The one thing I did find doing a lot of research is there is a couple of tools that we might use, but Etsy's backend is fantastic. Like it's really, really sexy. If I go down to stats, I believe, still new in this backend, so I'm get a little bit lost here. You can see they track how shoppers find you, visits and sales, which listings they're viewing of yours. It must be in marketing. Search analytics. They show you what keywords people are finding your listing under, and then how many impressions you're getting, and then what position you're actually ranking with the SEO. Now, this is amazing because this was a very token product that I threw up 1 week ago, it was like just a cover page. If someone bought it, they wouldn't even have a product to download. But I just wanted to see what this sort of stuff was. And this is excellent information. And because obviously we didn't sell any, they've sort of stopped showing that listing. So you can see that you want to have a high converting listing off the bat. Because one with a really good track record, you're going to climb the positions here. But I'm very excited to keep breaking this down. And I won't do it too much because we don't want this to be the Etsy.
The Etsy show.
The Etsy show. But until we get to 60K, it is the Etsy show over this side of things. And then Etsy ads. Now, this is something that is pretty ludicrous. Now, I've actually just thrown ads up today, and this is the first time I'm seeing this. We've got 28 cents spent on one ad click and 65 ad views, which is fantastic. We've got a 1.5% click-through rate, so I haven't seen this yet, but you can see someone has clicked on this cover image. And what we're going to do once we get all the colors up is split test the colors, split test the images, make sure it's all working really well. But Etsy ads, and I've spoken about this, everybody who's doing Etsy ads is like, oh, I do like $1 a day or $2 a day. Or they're like, yeah, I spent $300 on Etsy ads and got $700 back, and Etsy ads are pretty good. And it's like, it's so mind blowing to me that people don't realize when they spend $300 and they get $700 back in a digital product, they've uncovered a money printing machine.
Legitimately.
Like, just keep giving the machine $300. It's going to keep giving you $700 back. Plus, you're building your customer base. Plus, you're giving your listings, like a boost in the algorithm to show higher because you're getting more sales, more reviews, more visitors. And it's just like, it's shocking to me how many people don't actually see that. But what I did discover is and actually I'll go through this because I don't have much else to talk about after this. So there's a upper limit. Etsy ads budget limit. There is an upper limit to how much you can set a day. For me, it's currently $25, and they say that's when you start an account, that's where it is. Now this girl, Be Very Well, she's like, hey, my max ad spend is $225. I'm wondering if I can be granted permission to increase it. So, and again, I'm trying to speak more principle based because not everyone's going to be doing Etsy. Yeah. But it's like, okay, if someone's asking to increase their ad budget, their shop's doing very well. Their ads are doing very well. They want more of it. So I'm like, okay, let's do some reverse engineering here and see what she's selling. Of course, she's selling face masks, which should pop up. Let's have a look. No, face masks. Interesting. Actually, this is something else. Outer Banks, which is a Netflix series, and I'm going through a lot at the moment, it's a Netflix series, and people sell like merch, but unofficial merch. Like they'll like have a silhouette of the main character. Or Outer Banks, I think it's like a surfing thing, and they have like a combi van and a surfboard next to it with like Outer Banks written on it. So it's like, it's not trademark, but it's like that people sell the vibe in the merch. Actually, let me just finish this train of thought first. So you can see what I was doing here is basically seeing like, these shops who are doing really well, what are they selling? You can potentially sell that. I don't want to sell face masks. What I do want to sell though, is if you type in the letter S on Etsy, one of the top searches are stickers. And girls, mainly girls, some guys, love stickers, and they put them in like their notebooks and their journal books. And there's actually digital stickers in journals. And what I was thinking is maybe we can combine, because a lot of people sell like GoodNote stickers. GoodNotes is the app that I'm designing it for. GoodNotes stickers, you can see is number 3. I'm like, maybe we can combine trends. So I can make like Outer Banks style stickers to go into your journal. And I'm like, well, that's fantastic because I don't really care what's trending. I can always make a sticker out of whatever's trending, whether it's a Marvel movie, whether it's Halloween, Christmas, Father's Day, maybe it's Starbucks or something. It's like whatever's trending on Etsy, I'll just get my graphic designer to make those stickers, do a limited edition, like drop on them, and have that as an entryway into our journal and our actual brand. And like you said last week, Pete, just increase those reviews because you can sell digital stickers really cheap because they cost almost nothing. So these are some of the thoughts that I'm going over, which I think will end up doing really well once we start really moving. But one thing I thought was really funny because this like this sentiment right here makes me laugh so hard, and Pete, you'll love it. But it really does summarize what's going on Etsy with all the artists who are up there. So there's a little thread. This was the girl who wanted to increase her sales. Here, the Purple Puppy says, I know this is an old thread, but wow, just wow. I've never once spent a nickel on an ad with Etsy. I can't believe anyone would spend this much on ads. If I did anything at all, it would be like $1 per day. I'm opted into the OSA because I'm now at a point where I can't opt out. So that's pretty standard. Like someone doesn't have a lot of cash, they can't spend on ads. Even if it's profitable, if you don't have the cash, you can't spend on ads. Elizabeth says, same here. I'm also stunned. It seems like an unusual business practice to invest in traffic. Very unusual, which I'm like, okay, now this is getting really, really funny. Like, why is it unusual to buy traffic for your products? I know, right? Someone's spending $525 on ads. I really hope it was a typo because the average cost of her item, she'd have to sell 12 sales a day to break even. Never mind make a profit. 12 sales a day. And then this is the part I love. Some dude's popped in here and it's like, well, I've actually done the math. She sold 228 units a day. So I think she's fine. And it's like, that's so funny. And then there was one more. Yeah, it's cheaper to buy billboards than what you're spending on Etsy. Yeah, I think there's a reason why. But it's an absolute circus in here. And I love it because having some experience in e-commerce and ads and paying for traffic, or like knowing how valuable traffic is in a info product space, I'm very excited to max out these ads. But here's the one thing that I did actually come in here for. There's an upper limit to how much you can spend. So I'm like, well, I want to make sure that I'm always pushing the upper limit. If she's stuck at 525, I want to know how I can get stuck at $1,000 or $2,000 a day if the demand is that high. But I don't want there to be like an upper limit above the 30K, I guess. But how to change your daily budget. So this is on Etsy. This is Etsy's official advice. What if I want to set a daily budget that's higher than what I'm allowed? When you first start advertising, you'll start with a maximum budget of $25. It's because you need some time to understand your Etsy ad spend to determine your maxi daily, but to determine your maximum daily budget, which is, we can talk about that if we want. If you want to spend above this amount, it's best to start advertising with your full budget early. This can help raise your maximum daily budget by your desired peak advertising periods. So what I took from this is from day one, which was today, as I got an actual product up, not a fake product, is I've just maxed out my ads, and I don't think they'll ever come down from the max because I want to play the biases of the Etsy algorithm. I want to partner with Etsy and be like, yeah, I'll spend your maximum if that's what it's going to take. Would you put me in front of everybody else and allow me to spend more to get more customers? So that's my big insight sort of in the marketing of this week is like max out your ad budget as soon as possible, which I am. And because I did list something 7 days ago, I'm actually keeping my eye out for if I need to close my account and start again and start from day one, not day 7, which I'll be looking at that. But there was a lot of fascinating stuff going on with Etsy. The biggest thing is getting these products produced and ready. This should be fully up there tomorrow, which I'm excited for because even like pushing people towards this with just 2 very simple pitches, it's not ideal. But apart from that, we are up and we are moving, and I hope I have a big update next week with the first sale. Amazing. This is that thread excites me. That excites me a lot. That circus of a thread is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Yeah, you could buy a billboard. Why would you want to buy? Hey, everybody driving on the interstate. You want to buy a digital journal, or do you want to get in front of people who've typed in digital journal and can just push buy?
That's good. That's good. I'm very excited because if I share my screen, obviously I decided to go a little Etsy as well, because one thing I enjoy making is spreadsheets, especially around finance and wealth. And if you look at here, this is the preview of my app, so the wealth dashboard. And if I click through the photos, you can see it goes through a few different photos. And there's also a video you can watch, which goes through, I don't know why it's not here actually. It sort of goes through the front page and shows things sort of going in and out. You roll down, and I'm selling this one for $19.87, which just happened when I used a random number generator between 10 and 40. So that's why I picked my price. It was fantastic. And yeah, just scrolling down, it even goes down to a little YouTube video, which is a walkthrough of how to go through that. And for those who do want to buy this, that are watching this, obviously you're interested in finance, wealth dashboard, as you're playing along, you might want to buy this one for $19.87, which was very specific in why I chose that number, by the way. I'm actually going to link it. We're going to link it below if you'd like to go invest in this, because it's definitely going to help you on your journey to financial freedom, I'd say.
I'm not sold. I think I'd rather a notebook. Not sold. $7 for a notebook. That'll be linked below as well.
Yeah, the fake notebook I don't believe is going to help you so much. But this really just, because I love making these and I make these myself all the time, I tweaked it a little bit. I'm going to continue to tweak it, and then I'm going to sell there's about 5 tabs on this one. I'm also going to sell the individual tabs on this. And I was thinking of selling the individual tabs and looking at, for a period of time, running them at a massive discount. So even selling them at $1 each, essentially, to just bring up my sales number and my stars number. So people are getting absolute value for such a small price. Because the way I see the SEO, and the more people that I've jumped into and looked at their accounts, if you've got lots of sales and lots of reviews, it pushes you up. And so I wonder if we can have some where we just got like really cheap products, sell heaps of them, absolute value. Then I can sell this larger product for a whole lot more, but I need to generate those sales to increase that SEO. And in the same vein, I also put some ads up too.
Yes.
And I started with just $5 a day because I was just like, oh, I want to try and understand the stats behind the ads to begin with. And I've had 597 views, 5 ad clicks. And I did start this late yesterday afternoon. So we've only spent $1.64 so far. And just looking over time,
600 people,
600 views for $1.64 and 5 ad clicks. And then I've got to look at my listing and look at how many ad clicks I'm getting. And I think the first thing I'm looking at is going ad views. So how many people actually see the ad, and going, all right, well, if I'm getting 600 ad views to 5 ad clicks, what's the ratio I've got there? And do I need to improve my photos that I have? And then for each ad click, how many clicks do I need to make a sale? And understand, once people click on the ad, how do I convert them better from here? So it's going to be an interesting process throughout. But that's very much where it's not going to be a long episode today.
Can we? No, it doesn't have to be. But can we see your keyword traffic?
Keyword traffic? You're going to have to help me find that one, my friend.
Yeah, I just found it live a second ago. Marketing, and then the top one, which is keyword search analytics.
There we go. Yes, leave that. 0 queries.
So maybe it hasn't been up long enough. It went up last night because mine's been up for 7 days. So maybe,
mine went up last night.
Maybe it hasn't updated.
So maybe we'll see. I'll check back on this in a week's time. But the keywords I'm looking for are around wealth, finance, wealth dashboard, finance dashboard, budget tracker. What else?
Did you know what your competitors were selling?
Google Sheets. Yes. So I looked into my sellers, all my competitors and what they were selling. And I purchased a couple of them as well, just to sort of see what they're like. And some really interesting sheets, some cool different takes on things. And I was like, what do I really like from this and this and this, and sort of trying to put it all together here. And the more interactive,
what are they selling?
The better. What's that?
How much are they selling? Do you know?
I will have that data later. So I took a photo. I think I'll have to check the time. I think it was Monday this week, just gone.
Nice.
And I'm going to take another picture on Monday, so tomorrow, and then at the exact same time, and then extrapolate from that one.
Nice.
Very much so.
That's how you do Etsy, everybody.
That is how you create a little Etsy store.
Welcome to Not Financial Advice, where we talk about the inner workings of Etsy. But dude, Etsy's.
Yes.
I feel like such a gold rush right now. They went from $800 million in sales in 2019 to $2 billion in sales in 2020. It's ads is so underdeveloped and no one's really wanting to even use them. It feels like we're in Facebook ads in like 2013.
Yes, exactly.
Like you're getting 30-cent click-throughs.
That's ridiculous. And I
It's
just have
amazing.
to improve how I'm converting that.
Yeah. And what I realized is that some people are getting email addresses from their sales.
Oh, how are they doing that?
Etsy don't police it. I don't know if I haven't looked into Etsy's specific terms. If they say don't do it, but everyone I bought from supplied their customer service email through email, and Etsy don't discourage helping people through email, so you could do it that way. But I also think there may be a more get access to a certain type of cover, get access to something that you don't get access to unless you email us and tell us what your thoughts were or something like that.
That's good.
Don't listen to this podcast, Etsy.
Yeah, do not listen to this.
I wouldn't do it. I definitely wouldn't do it.
Get the free sticker.
The free sticker, the Outer Banks sticker.
The free sticker. Yes.
But yeah, you can see it's such a gold rush time for Etsy. I did not take advantage of Facebook ads in 2014, 2015 when I was just like, oh, the Facebook slap, it's limiting like organic reach. You have 100,000 followers on your page, which I did. And you put out a post and it's like 13 people like this. It's like, well, wait a second. We're having 100,000 people where the timeline was chronologically, not through an algorithm. And at that point, what I was blind to is like, oh, they want you to pay. That's why they're changing everything. I'm not falling into that trap. And now I'm like, I will pay, Etsy. I will. You want me to pay? I will align my brand with yours and become the digital Kiki K just through ad spend alone. Do you know who? Google Ads, Gary Vee talks about a lot. Google Ads early 2000s.
Yes, I remember this.
The number one spender?
Gary Vee, wasn't it?
No, so Gary Vee wishes he was the number one spender.
Oh, sorry, yes.
But he said that he got people buying wine for 5 cents a click for the first 4 months.
Ridiculous.
And he's like, this is why you go so hard on any new technology that's out, is because he should have just put all of his money into it over and over and over again and just become. But the number one spender on Google Ads for the first, I think, 5 to 10 years by a long shot, like double what number two was, is Amazon.
Oh.
And he's like, they're now the biggest business in the world, thanks to Google Ads. Not solely, but obviously they got a lot of traffic to that.
Yeah, jeez, amazing.
So
we're using
pioneers on the back of Etsy
to funnel to their own search engine, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
It's kind of funny.
They're the main things I think from today. From me, like it's been a deep dive and a massive gamble into Axie Infinity based off of a bit of hearsay as well as a little bit of news and trying to put the two together and hope for the best. But really getting the Etsy store up and running. Oh, and by the way, in the background, the Amazon, we have our first product essentially all sorted. We've sent it off. We're going to see how that bad boy is going because we're shaking and moving. The store, like I said, it's all up and running. I was actually trying to verify myself earlier this week and I got stuck with the blood. I'll show you actually. This is fantastic.
You got to do a video verification to show that it's you on Amazon. And this is how Pete rocked up.
and I rocked up like this because for some reason it tried to use my webcam, obviously, like it should, but it couldn't get past Snapcam, whatever software they were using. And I was trying to turn Snapcam off and it wouldn't turn off. And there's this lady there and she's like, oh, sir, we need to make sure we can see you next to your passport. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And
yeah, this is me.
I'm going through changing between the different things. And like, I couldn't get back to my normal face. I had like all these different faces on. And she's like starting to laugh and I'm tearing up. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I promise this is me. I'm not a cartoon in real life.
That would be funny. You hold your passport up and it's like applied the filter to your passport face as well. And you're like, yeah, this is me.
Story checks out.
A handsome man with the skinniest neck in the world.
First product, which we've sent off to all the different factories. They're getting back to us with different quotes, and then we're sort of going to play them against each other. Which, if you want to learn more, we can put the link below to the course that we're following. A bloody amazing course by a guy called Benji Wilson. And what's that?
We'll pop the link in.
We will pop the link in, my friends. And we're looking to get that up and running as soon as possible. And we're aiming to get to 10K revenue a month within, what is it now? 53 more days. So stay tuned.
Oh yeah. So I'll put the link to your channel again as well, where you're documenting that. Yeah, that's massive. That's good news. So what are you focused on this week?
So focused on this week is going to be sorting out got to sort out the tax for that. They've asked for a few more things for the tax, like TFN and those kinds of things. We want to make sure that the product is...
Turn your filter off, bro.
No, bro, you don't like my filter? Okay, all right, I see how this is. You can't take me seriously when there's a filter on it. All right. We're also going to have a look at actually ordering our first product, and we're going to order, I think, 1 or 2 of our competitors' products too, so to actually sort of physically see those products. And also because sometimes I get tired when I'm working, so to have an anti-fatigue mat on the ground, keep me awake, brilliant. And we were thinking at the same time, get those mats, rebrand them as fatigue mats. So like, oh, you can't sleep, stand on this, puts you to sleep. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
You know, in my course, how I have a, I don't know if you remember, a lot of people sell meat thermometers. And they're in really high demand. And I'm like, well, candy thermometers are in really high demand. It's the same thermometer, but no one's putting candy in the keyword. I had a free call with a lady who took my course, and she was like, I sold meat thermometers and I couldn't move any of my stock because it was too competitive. And then I watched your course and I was like, wow, this is my exact product. She's like, I put candy thermometer in, and she's like, I sold everything. I'm like, brilliant, brilliant.
Literally made her millions.
But that is a good takeaway for people. It's like you can sell the same product, but change the angle or the keyword or something you're optimizing for, and you're doing much better.
Yeah.
Like if I sold a good notes journal versus a digital journal versus a notability journal, these are all different ways people are searching for it. But you want to like pick one that's at the demand that you want, and less competition, and own that one.
Yeah. And the idea for us as well is, because I understand ergonomics, is we're going to sell it as an anti-fatigue mat. We're also going to sell it as a plantar fascia mat. So it's another slight take on it, but it's going to help people who have plantar fasciitis that have to stand up when they're working. So, and then also looking at selling it as a balance mat. So for people when they're working, these are the 3 things we can see people buying already. But in some of these, there's not a whole lot of demand for the exact type of product that we have. So I feel like we can squeeze it in there. So it's fantastic. There's so much to learn. There's so much to do. That's going to be a big focus this week, is really getting that up and running, nailing that. Like I said, I got 10,000 Australian dollars waiting for crypto to have a little bit of a dip, and I'm going to throw that on Doge or whatever the people's coin, but whatever it might be, I'm going to throw that in, and I'm going to try and turn that into my idea for that $10,000. And you can track this over the next week. I'd like to turn that $10,000 into $20,000
this week.
2 weeks.
What are you talking about?
2 weeks, and I'm very confident as well.
Why?
Why would I not be confident, Benji? Because crypto goes like this. And so I feel like, because I'm holding that in fiat currency at the moment, I predict, using my wealth spell, which I haven't bought yet because we said that's not part of it.
That's where the confidence is coming from. Obviously, this is just so opposite of Webjet and normal Pete.
I've still hedged myself. Like I've got $15,000 in those investments. I'm going to see that happen to increase over time. I'm going to leave those there because I feel like they're very safe, stable investments for me. And then I'm just going a little bit nuts, just like, crypto.
You wait for a dip. Are you going for a tip off? Or are you going for your own research, or gut feeling?
I'm listening to people. I'm listening to a lot of people to understand what they think is going to happen. Because to me, I don't see what's going to happen. But a lot of people say a lot of things, and then I can research and learn, sort of build on. I'm skyscrapering their thought process and their knowledge. So when they give me something, then I can look further into that and then build upon that. So that's how I'm doing it. What is on for you this week, my man?
Before I ask who they are, we'll see how your next week goes, and if it goes well, we'll link up those resources.
Yes, we will.
Well, I'm still under 60K, so although I am playing in some other fields off this production, during this production, I'm just Etsy baby. So I want to get that product fully up and looking really beautiful. I want to get my first sale, get some momentum behind that. And then I want to get my second product, I'd say up as well. Probably not perfected, probably at the stage that this one's at. And like we've got 24 products ahead of us. We're literally just going to, the one thing that I don't want to do is like 80% products, which is like, oh yeah, throw it up. I want to make sure like all these pitches and everything's at 100%. So I've getting some help from the team to do that. And I'm taking 70% profits. They're taking 30. And so I don't want to go too quick, but I don't want to be too slow at the same time. So it's a balance between like perfecting these products, getting them selling, getting the momentum going, maxing out those ads, and then moving these 24 products through, which I'm guessing, depending on how crazy that card goes, I'll be under 60K for probably the next 3 to 4 weeks. So it'll be Etsy. I could pop up above 60 magically thanks to that card. And then things will get shiny.
Yes.
But for now, it is very good. And I do appreciate this challenge because it's making me Etsy focused one thing. And that store's moving.
Now, do you have to ask one more thing before we jump off of this one? DumbMoney, have you had any learnings this week from listening or watching them?
So I watched their California drought one. Wasn't a big fan of the takeaways. And then they had another one, which was a girls fashion play.
Ooh.
And I've honestly been pretty busy this week that I skipped through it just to see what the stock was. And I didn't end up doing any more research. I'm in Discovery, and I'm in that's the other one I haven't talked, Funko, which is actually down this week, even though it looks like a really strong play. So I'd consider doing some options trading or something on that, but I mean, even Discovery's been down for a while, so maybe I'll just sit with my 3 or 4 G's in there. Yeah, I mean, Discovery and Funko are the two DumbMoney plays, and I've got about 7K in there, maybe even more. No, probably about 7 Australian out of 48 now. So maybe I could move up some more equity into some DumbMoney plays, but they're both currently down. So track record, not excellent, but we'll see how it goes.
Amazing. All right. I reckon that about sums up this episode. A little bit of work to be done this week. And I'm interested to see Etsy sales. Who's going to get the first Etsy sales and what do we come back with next week?
That'd be cool. I think we should both have one by next week.
Surely
sure.
one sale.
Yeah, for sure. If we're going to get to 1 million, we need at least one.
We need a few sales. $50 ad spend, one sale.
YOLO'd into Doge.
Oh,
and spend 5K on ads.
Straight into a billboard.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Like and subscribe for more. See you next week.
Yeah.